How are we all doing tonight? So I'm just heading down to my basement, and in this video we're going to talk about how to display your Hot Wheels cars or your diecast. So in my basement, this is the man cave where manly men do manly things, and as always, beware of wife. So in my space, I have lots of different options for displaying my Hot Wheels cars. So what I wanted to do in this video is go through a couple of these and talk about, how we do that, how you would display your collection. So we buy all these cars, hundreds, in some cases thousands of diecast cars, and then we wonder, how the heck are we going to show them to everybody, or how can I display them? So I have lots of different options and different ways that I display my Hot Wheels. In some cases they're displayed in cabinets where I've bought the cabinets. In some cases they're cabinets that I've made. And so this is really kind of just a showcase to say, hey, this is what you guys can do as well. So we'll start with cases that you can buy, right? So this display here is a cabinet that I bought at IKEA. It's a dark wood grain. I bought this one simply because it matches all the built-ins that we did when we bought this place. So these built-ins are IKEA cabinetry as well. So I bought something similar to that in color, not necessarily the door style, but the color, so that I could display, well, mainly because it was the only cabinet I could buy that was big enough to hold this Lego Porsche 911 that my son bought me. So I put this in here simply for that, and it provided a little bit extra storage, in the background, so that I could put some of the sets, obviously, and some of my favorite collections in here. And in the other parts, basically I just store cars that I haven't opened or don't display yet. Down at the bottom, more cars, more 5-packs, more cars that haven't been opened yet. And so, obviously you can buy cabinetry that you could use. This one happens to have some glass doors. I could have bought glass doors all the way down, but I also needed some storage because there really isn't enough storage in this basement. And then I've got these glass cabinets. So the glass cabinets, they have a lot of my 1/18 scale diecast that you can see all throughout the bottom cabinets. So the bottom two shelves in each cabinet have 1/18 scale cars that I've accumulated over the last 35 years. Really just my favorites, right? And then from the third shelf up, I've got 1/64. So some old ones to some newer ones. So this 50th anniversary display cabinet that houses the 10 cars that came out the 50th anniversary in the premium sets. And then of course, in the background, and I'm sure you've all seen the video, but in the background are the foam board cabinets that I've made. So I've made those to basically fit right into the body of the upper shelf, right at the back, to hold all of the Team Transport products. The Team Transport trucks and cars in each one. I haven't seen a Team Transport in at least a year and a half. It's been 18 months since I've seen one on a peg. So I've got a long way to go and a little bit more shelving unit available. So right now I kind of spread them out just to make it look full. But there's more team transport that I've got to get that will fill up the rest of these racks. And then just to kind of throw things, you know, make it interesting, I've thrown some cars inside those foam board cabinets. But if you're interested in knowing how to make those foam board cabinets, I have a video on those as well. And then basically a few cars that I've thrown into the cabinets just to kind of make things interesting. These ones are model kits, 1/24 that I built. And of course some carded cars in the back that I've hung basically using a suction cup hanger on the back of the glass, and it just holds them in place. And you know, there's a few of those throughout the cabinet. Some cars that I've, you know, not only from, you know, my youth collection, but also some cars that are what I'd consider my favorite cars. So you've got a Super Treasure Hunt and the regular mainline along with it. And then you've got, you know, various Hot Wheels cars, some RLC cars, some Greenlight cars, some M2 cars, you know, so a little bit of everything in these cabinets. Down at the bottom I got some Ferraris hanging over some Porsche. And over here you've got some Camaro, another Ferrari, first edition. Got some Nomads, again hanging over some Porsche. Those emblems are off of a Porsche, not my own Porsche, unfortunately. So those are the glass cabinets. And in that glass cabinet as well, you know, I kind of house, you know, a few things like this one where we stripped the paint and did wheel swaps. So I haven't actually decided how I want to paint and decal these out. So that'll come. Future video. And same with these ones. So these are other ones that I've already stripped and not really sure exactly what I want to do yet. This one I've detailed the engine a little bit already, but again, you know, wheels, not sure what wheels, not sure what paint, not sure what decal scheme I want to use yet. You know, all that stuff will come. It's all gonna happen. And then of course there's the large foam board display that I made. This one's holds 10 cars high, 8 cars wide, so a total of 80 cars in this cabinet, made completely from foam board. And then these ones here, they have the mirror backs on them, but again, these are ones that I bought. They've got like a carbon fiber bezel that runs around, and then the center part is made up of like a plexiglass, clear and white. Of course, I just keep some cars in there that I find in my own collection I find desirable. So I've got 2 of those, and they used to be hanging on the wall. You may have seen those in previous videos. So of course I use those to house premiums and main lines. Not really one to keep them separated as much as I would think that, you know, just to collect them all and have them hanging on the wall is, you know, a lot of it is just important to me to make sure that I can see them every day. Then on the other wall are all the Hot Wheels premium display cabinets that you can buy. These ones, always bought them from the hotwheels.com or the hotwheelscollectors.com website, and mainly just to get the cars that come exclusive, you know, of course, like that one and this one, and this one. So every time a new cabinet comes out, I want to buy it just to get the exclusive car. Where's the Mercedes? I know I've got the Mercedes around here as well, because that was another exclusive car. Oh, I think it's hanging out in this cabinet here with the other Mercedes. So there it is. So, and then on this wall, I've hung 6 of the Hot Wheels cabinets that go across this wall. Makes a nice setup. And then just because I wanted to hang them in studs, there was a space between them, which meant I had room to make a foam board insert. And the foam board insert just basically hangs in between them. And of course I can put more cars on the foam board insert, which is awesome, because it makes the wall look full. So I just made that out of basic black foam board, and in between it just hangs basically on the wall using some, well, of course, pressure. So I made them tight so they fit tightly between the two, between all the displays. But I have a little bit of 3M adhesive tabs, which you can kind of see hanging up in there. It just makes sure that they don't fall down to the floor, which of course would suck. If I came in one morning and they were all sitting on the floor, that would be brutal. But you can see I try to keep these as sets. So in the first cabinet, you've got basically from top to bottom are all Fast and Furious cars. In this cabinet are all cars that I would consider to be racing cars, racing livery style cars. And then underneath that, this cabinet is filled with gassers. Eventually it'll all be just the $55 gasser. Right now I've got some 66 Novas at the bottom, but that will all fill in. I've got a bunch on order that, you know, basically will fill at the bottom in the last 4 slots. So it'll be this one here, of course, the Tusky Triassic 5 representation from Hot Wheels. I bought the premium one on the RLC site as well, so that one will come. And then of course there's some other gassers that run up through this one. So I keep those all on display. And then in this cabinet here, you've got all the Datsun series products. So I've got some Datsun 620s, some 510s in the 4-door, so they're basically all 71s. And then up on top of that, the Datsun Continue in the wagons, 510 wagons. We've got a few Z cars, and on top rounds out with some more of the 620s. Sorry for the glare. I thought maybe I should pull the doors off, and I thought, well, you know what, we're going to show them with the doors on. It's not working out too great. Now on this cabinet here, I've got filled with pickup trucks. So pickup truck series, you know, they run through a lot of main lines, mostly some premiums, and of course the custom Chevy, which is one of my favorites. And then up through here, kind of this theme through the middle is just convertibles. So these are all convertible Camaros and some of the Matchbox ones. And then on top of that, just a couple Fords, which I basically stuck on the wall here. So when you buy the what do they call the protector kit packs, you get inside that a little collectors.com track piece. So I've ordered them twice. I've got 2 pieces of track, of course, so I just hung those on the wall and stuck a car to it. So that's another way to display, a little bit creative, right? And then on the last cabinet, we've got some Golf. So I keep all my Golf livery cars here. And at the top, the Golf will continue, but I've got some, you know, can fill in, because of course I don't have enough Golf cars to fill up 2 full sections of the cabinet. So there's just a few overflows here. Don't have a lot of cars in there. And then here you've got imports, all premiums. And as you go down, then you got some vans, Got a few vans that I like. Threw some vans in there. So basically, in a nutshell, I collect 1/64 Hot Wheels, Matchbox, and a few other styles along the way. And then I'm showcasing those in my basement Hot Wheeler room, we'll call it, in these cabinets, which I think are quite nice, in these cabinets above, and then a little bit of storage. It's not a lot, I know, but I don't have a lot of space either. On the far wall above the TV, I keep all the RLCs that I haven't opened yet. And as new RLCs come in, I open up the RLCs and I throw them into the display cabinet. So I've got basically most of the RLCs as they come out, except for the ones that I'm not too keen on or I don't want to have. So those ones I keep up above here on this kind of hanging shelf. And then any open cars, overflow cars, and obviously stuff that just happens to be sitting in packages. So I keep those here. So you've got plano cases that hold 48 cars lining the shelves in here. Then I've got a case for cars that I don't want anymore, duplicates that, you know, I'm just going to sell on eBay. So I've got a bunch of stuff like that. And then of course, as I'm collecting cars or buying cars, they go into these big plastic tubs. And the plastic tubs, each one of these plastic tubs usually carries or holds roughly 350 to 400 cars, depending on the actual cards and how I lay them out in here. I try not to want to get them too close to the corners because it tends to bend them out because the corners are round. And so I've got a bunch of those cases that I hold, you know, the Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars that I tend to buy on a weekly, almost daily basis when I can find them. Lately, the last 18 months has been a little bit skimpy. But that's sort of a storage room that I have, that I just keep some, you know, cases and boxes that I just store up the cars, and then eventually open them up and then throw them into the displays. And then stuff that I don't want, like I say, I just sell them on eBay. eBay channel is Hot Wheeler, or basically Hot-Wheeler. And you can usually find 70 or 80 cars at a time. I tend not to sell too much, but when I do have stuff, that's where it ends up. So I hope you've enjoyed this little walkthrough of my room and how I actually display all of my Hot Wheels cars. I'm the Hot Wheeler, and this is the Hot Wheeler room. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll talk to you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.